Hey everybody, Steven here, and today I'm doing the second kind of upgrade video for my office here where I do all of my YouTube content. And with this one, I've actually done part of it already, which is getting the fan light out of here, which is right above me, and then replacing that with just a fan. And then they're canless flush mount RGB lights. And so my client, that's an electrical engineer, came over and helped me do that. I'll make sure video pops up actually showcasing the process of that, a little time lapse. And then I have these set up and they look really, really good in here. And I actually have them on right now and they're blue, so it does help with the videos. I'm really excited about that. So last video we did the 3D wall panels that are behind me with the RGB light strips from Govee. And then second portion of this is I have those in. I didn't want to split the video up. Originally I thought I may do two separate videos, but I'm going to do it in this video. My IKEA, and I can't remember the name of the brand, but they are my shelving units that I'm going to have in the corner of the room here where I can stack stuff. So I actually have to assemble those. I was hoping that they would come in and they would be already kind of assembled just based off the look of them, but I do have to assemble those and then I have to mount them to the walls. So I have that to do today. I'm going to do a time lapse showcasing me actually getting that done. I don't know how long these are going to take, and then I have two of them, so fingers crossed it doesn't take a long time. But with that, I'll be able to actually stack the different product boxes and like cool little knick-knack pop figures, things like that I have, just to add a little bit of flair to the room. And then on top of that, I have my Govee table lamps here. I did a video on these. I'll make sure that that is in the description, but I have two of these. So I have the one that I have right now in my hand, and then there's the box for the other one. So these will actually sit, and you can angle these. These will sit on top of that to actually illuminate the corners a little bit more. So excited to actually get this all set up and showcase that. I am going to make sure that footage pops up of the RGB lights set up also. That way you can actually see some of the cool stuff that you can do with these. I still have a little bit to learn. This does have a remote, which helps. And it has a hub, I think, so you can connect to Wi-Fi. I haven't gotten that to work. I'm still trying to figure out how I can essentially sync all of them up together, so when you do some of the lighting effects like breathing, color cycle, or something like that, they're doing it together versus right now I set one and then I go set the other and then the timing's off with them. So got to figure that out, but so far really cool to adjust one, the color, but also like normal color temperature, like 2700K to 6000K, and then I can dim them and all these other things that I couldn't do with just the bulbs and a fan light. But the space that I've gained by removing that as well is really nice. So the room itself seems a lot bigger, where this would actually probably be hanging down close to almost in frame, and it was gold plated, didn't like the look of it. So showcase that, and like I said, now I'm going to switch over to time lapse of me actually building these and then getting them hung up and then putting stuff on them. And I don't know, that's probably going to change a bunch, but putting little knickknacks, product boxes on those, getting the Govee lamp set up in the corner. I'm hoping that, because right now I'm using my newer RGB light in the corner, which is where you get this glow over here from. I'm hoping that this will actually illuminate the corners a little bit as well. If it is something that maybe I need more light, I may go to light strips along the outside of the wall where it's hidden on the side of the actual shelving units. We'll see with that. I'm hoping these are enough. If not, I do have these other RGB lights that I could use that they're very powerful, but it's also something else that I have to set up. So fingers crossed these are enough. But let's go ahead and jump to the time lapse of me actually setting up the, like I said, I can't remember the name brand, but they are from IKEA. But they have this really cool flush look to them. So we're gonna get this set up and everything put on it. We'll cut back and then I'll kind of wrap the video up. Alright, so you just saw the time-lapse video of me getting this all set up. In terms of problems with this, really the only main thing was I didn't have the larger anchors, the wall anchors for this like I was hoping. I just had the smaller ones. It's not a huge weight difference, the difference between 79 pounds with the bigger anchors and then these that I had around the house, which were 65 pounds. I'm not going to put a ton of weight on them, but they're bigger, so it feels like it's going to be a little bit more secure. But like I said, I'm not going to put a ton of weight on these. Getting them lined up to be on the wall also. The room isn't 100% square, so when you hit that 90-degree angle where the back walls meet in the side walls, and it's on both sides, it's just, I thought I'll just put it all the way against it and that would be level, and that would be flush. And then I was like, I may want to put cables running on that side if I do something up top besides these, the Govee table lamps. Or I may want to put RGB lights on the side just to have them illuminate from the side. So kind of planning for that, I bring it out like, I don't know, about an inch maybe, right? Half an inch to an inch. And then I look on the side and I measure it out. And actually it is half an inch. So half an inch from the wall at the top, and then it slowly starts to diminish as you go down towards the bottom. So that's kind of a pain with that. It's gonna be one of those things, if it presents an issue, I may have to adjust these, move them out a little bit more. But that was really the only thing that I ran into with this. Setup was really easy for these shelves. I like the shelves, turned out exactly how I wanted them to. Stacking the boxes, I'll actually change those out probably periodically just to have some cool stuff in the background. For the setup with this too, just so I could get both of these in the corners, this isn't, well, it is now I guess, because I actually like this view in this shot. I'm probably going to use this every now and then, but typically not a shooting distance. I'm usually really close to my desk, so this is different with having this in the background. The camera is backed all the way up to my closet door in order to actually get these two in the corners. In terms of the lighting effects, I can't sync the two table lamps together. That's something that I talked about in the kind of unboxing review with, that I was hoping I would be able to do, and I can't. And so I'm running all of these things independent of each other, trying to get them to sync up. This is just a color scheme that I chose for right now. So it's purple on the RGB LED light strip, and then for the table lamps, it's just a light blue. They do different effects too, so I don't know, some videos I may have that in there. I am curious to actually check out different shots though, so this being just one shot, I'm actually going to cut this right now so that we can actually get a different angle, and I'll just showcase one corner. Alright, so this would be an angle that I would typically shoot for an unboxing video or tech review or something like that, and with this, the thing that I can't do that I've noticed is when I'm cycling through the colors on the RGB light strip, it seems to affect, obviously, what light this is going to pick up, so it can make the subject darker or brighter based off of that. So I'm going with a darker color here. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. So with that, it can affect how this light looks as well. So it's something where I may have to work on that a little bit, where yeah, if it's doing the color cycle, I have to be mindful of how that may affect whatever I'm shooting. So got different colors right here, but that's why I'm not actually doing like a color cycle or anything like that. You can kind of still see right there the table lamp. So I'd have to probably back the camera out just a little bit, maybe tilt it up. I don't know how well that shot would look. The fun part next is that I get to experiment with all of this and really come up with better shots that just look better. They have a better composition to them than what I've been able to do. And that's really the thing that I've been wanting for the office where I create all of my content for the last couple of years. It's getting closer and closer to that. And this turned out exactly how I thought it would, which is pretty rare and pretty awesome, because usually I plan something out and it doesn't quite turn out like this. So I am so happy with how this turned out. Now, so I have that, and then also got to keep in mind I have the RGB lights above me. So let's turn this on. So this would be with blue. So the other fun thing to experiment with is how this affects the lighting with whatever shot I'm doing now also. Let's cycle through some of these. So it's going to be like a darker blue. We got a purple. There's going to be a red, green, and then it goes back to that lighter blue that I had. And I think with in this, I think I can change the shade maybe a little bit, but not much. It depends on the color. I've noticed that you can do this or you can't. So I think it's starting to get brighter right here. It's almost moving towards a white. So I can mess with this in the app, and that's something else I need to still figure out. I've mentioned that a couple times, but I think it looks really, really cool with both of these, especially like this where it's like, hey, it's a little bit brighter, but it's going to affect the light behind me. So let's see, we can get a yellow. So we can make certain colors pop a little bit more based off whatever look we want. That's probably not as much. The red, and then we would just try that out and see like what looks really, really cool. Orange, no. Blue is going to feed into that. Let's go with green. So I do think though, I'm gonna, just based off this closer shot, potentially do an RGB strip on the outside of the, and be it back here too, the outside of the shelving unit, just to make the color from there potentially pop. But I'm probably gonna toy around with that a little bit. I have some other lighting fixtures that I'm looking at, the nano leaf being one of them, so that maybe it goes on the side. I don't know. So gonna toy around with that for a while, but like I said, I'm so happy with actually how this turned out. And now the fun part is trying out different things, seeing what looks I can get, because I do like the shot that I was just doing. That's something I wouldn't have done before, because if you had it in the background, it just didn't look good. And now, because it fills out the wall a little bit too, and then you have the color popping off of that, it does create a better shot. So upgrades are going to be the lighting. That's kind of the next phase. And then looking at different, and I've gone different routes with this, but different tops potentially that I can buy. And I was thinking like, so I have the grain wood here, the live edge wood, and then I have my white B-roll station. And I do have the plastic colored sheets that I can put on there for different color kind of composition backgrounds that I can use with B-roll shots for tech products. But looking at maybe a gray wood that I can put down, just different things, textures, things like that, that I could put items on to get good shots. I could probably put it on the shelf, and that's something else I'm curious to actually experiment with. Putting a product on the shelf to get a cool shot where it's kind of scanning down. So there are options within this too that I get to toy around with, but slowly getting more variability with that is something that I really want to do towards the tail end of 2021, because I've only been shooting off kind of set surfaces, and this is going to allow me to do that a little bit more, and then that next phase really pushing for more and more. But just tinkering around with the lights here, the background lights here, really, really cool to see kind of come to fruition. Now, I'm going to have a link for as many of these products as I can in the description. The canless flush mount lights here, the RGB ones. I will have the Govee table lamps as well as the video for that as well. And then the RGB light strip, the 3D panels, all that'll be there. The one big thing though is the IKEA shelves. So the IKEA shelves, basically it's somebody buying them and then reselling them on Amazon. So I think they have them listed for like 160 bucks. At IKEA, they're half that. They're like 80 bucks. So if you live close to an IKEA, you can literally just go pick it up. Say you could get two for the price of one of what they're selling on Amazon. If not, I got the two, paid 100 bucks to have it shipped to me. I had to wait a little bit longer, but it still was cheaper than getting the two at double the cost. So something to look into. Just depends on how far away you are. Also, I think that affects the shipping price with IKEA. I'm in Oklahoma, it's in Texas, it was 100 bucks. I did have to wait 3 or 4 weeks, wasn't that bad. And then they deliver it to you, and then they put it in whatever room. So they actually brought these boxes up to my office for me. I didn't have to do that, which is nice. They weren't heavy, but it was just nice that they took care of all that. I didn't have to think about it. So I'm going to make sure all those links are there for you guys to check those products out if you want to. If you have a question on anything that I have here in the office that I've done, let me know in the comment section. I will make sure that I answer that for you there. Let me know what you think too of all of this. I'm going to make sure some B-roll pops up kind of showcasing different angles, not just this one set angle here, so you can see just some potential shots and things like that that I may actually get with the shelving units, and just a cool viewpoint on them besides kind of me blocking most of it with this. If you guys like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all my content, the tech review stuff, the video game playthroughs, any of that, hit that subscribe button for me, and thanks so much for watching.